So first of all, welcome to our last success circle, and it is of this round. And if you could go ahead and all mute yourselves, that would be fantastic. So just go ahead and mute. I mean, I know I could do that too, so maybe I'll do that because I see a bunch of people. I'll do mute all. That makes it much easier. First of all, I love all of you, and I'm so happy that Ellie and Joyce are here because when we were doing Kriya the other day, um, uh, Ellie was there, but Joyce wasn't. I was like, oh, where is she? Is she okay? So now I see that you're both here, which makes me very happy. See, I actually notice you guys. And Tana, your Christmas card was the best Christmas card. And I got a lot of them. That was really good, Miss Barbie. But anyway, it was so creative. So I do notice he's here, just so you know. It's not like, oh, you're bad if you're not, but I do notice because I worry about you, kind of like a little mother hen. But so now I'm going to tell you my story. As many of you know, and cousin Marcia definitely knows, the day before Success Circle, she's going to nod. I obsess because because I want to give you, actually, I'm going to also spotlight myself. So if somebody sneezes or something like that, it doesn't go off in a odd direction. But anyway, I tend to obsess because, and then the day of Success Circle, when I was living with cousin Marcia, she wasn't even allowed to talk to me the day of Success Circle. She would sneak like a smoothie into my room. And that was it, because Success Circle, as you may or may not know, I always start from scratch. Success Circle is not, yes to success. I do the exact same way every time. 2.0, I do it the exact same way every time, because knowledge is structured in consciousness. You might hear it differently, like, wow, she didn't say that last time. Well, yeah, I did. But Success Circle, I just asked my guides and the angels and God to tell me what y'all need to hear. And then I just kind of channel, but it takes me days, a couple days, because I want it to be perfect for you. So, yesterday was my first day that I was going to work on this. And some of you know, because you've been in Sky, or you've been in, that's the meditation group, or you've been in 2.0, that I am in Iowa right now. Raise your hand if you don't know about what's been going on in Iowa. Okay, so a lot of you don't. Yoshimi does. Because in Iowa, there was a 15-day World Peace Assembly, and there were 2,000 of us, almost 2,000 of us here. And then the sister group was in India. Yoshimi was there. There she is. And there were over 10,000 people gathered in India doing our meditation program together to create world peace, because there is it's scientifically proven that when a group of people get together, it was tested on the Transcendental Meditation Program, that it creates a wave of coherence for the whole world. And because of what's going on in the world, we had over 10,000 people in India. And those of us who weren't going to go to India, I didn't go because I'm going to be in India next month, we were in Fairfield, Iowa. Well, here we are, 2000, a lot of people who have never been in cold weather before. People came up from like other countries and, Florida and Arizona. And it was like the coldest January on record. We had, for days in a row, it was 20 below zero, 20 below. 20 below, right? Chris is not coming to visit me there. It was 20 below. And not only, so this is what happened. So the last few days of the course, we were building up because we do our meditation together in these two beautiful golden domes. And it's building up and building up. And the power is incredible. Then we had this huge snowstorm and nobody could get their cars out. I mean, I have a picture of my car. I wish I could show it to you, but I don't know how to get it off of my phone. But you couldn't even tell it was a car. You could tell it was like a mound, but you couldn't tell it was a car. And that was, I think, on Tuesday. And we finally dug our cars out. And then it not only went into the deep freeze, like 5, 10, 20 below zero. But then we had another huge snowstorm. And then our cars were covered again, only this time we had to shovel it out in 10 below zero. And let me just tell you, I shoveled out my own car in 10 below zero with drifts this high. I mean, the snow was to the bottom of my car. It was to the top of the doors on the outside. And I bundled up and I dug that car out of myself. And because I didn't know who to call, I don't live there, right? And you couldn't call AAA. They said, anyway, so that was kind of a digression. But yesterday, I went out to get my car because I had some errands to complete before I was going to start working on this. And somebody had, I don't know if they backed into my car or like glided into my car. It was a rental car. And I went out and I went, how does it get any better than this? With a big dent on the side of my car. And I'm like, oh, great. Okay, well, today was going to be my errand day. And because I had a lot of things to do. And my work day, well, it turned out to be my waiting for the insurance. What do you call those people who come and they take a look? The insurance adjuster. And because nobody left a note. And anyway, it was quite the day. And I didn't get to work on this at all. And I said, well, how does it get any better than that? So, but I still have all day today, right? So today I was going to get up bright and early and I was going to drive that rental car to Cedar Rapids and check in my hotel. That's where I am, at the Abbott Hotel, and which I love. And I was going to, I even called and asked, they love me here. Because I come here whenever I'm in Iowa and it's like, oh, okay, can you give me an early check-in? Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was definitely Murphy's Law. It's like everything that could go wrong went wrong. The people who were supposed to pick up my extra suitcase and bring it back to Chicago for me didn't show up. And I'm going to New Orleans from here. So is this story interesting, by the way? They didn't show up. So I'm waiting for that. And I'm like, but I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't do this for you because I was distracted. And then they finally come, they take my suitcase. I go out and somebody else's car, because the streets are like ice, had drifted, didn't hit my car, but it drifted behind my car. They couldn't get my car out. And I'm like, okay, God, thank you, God. And Marcia was writing to me, are you there yet? Where are you? And I'm like, I'm 4 hours late. So anyway, then what usually takes me an hour and 20 minutes to get to Cedar Rapids, in my life, I did take pictures of this all the way along Highway 218 to Cedar Rapids. I have never seen anything like it in my life. There were cars, there were semis upside down. Semis. Marcia just texted me, is someone dropping off the suitcase? No, they're not going to be back until I'm back. And then I'm going to go pick it up. It's Jane and Brett. So anyway, semis upside down. Like you couldn't drive a mile on Highway 218 without seeing cars upside down on the side of the road. I mean, I know I should have been paying attention to the traffic, but actually, I mean, this is what it looked like. I don't know if you could you see this? All along the highway, this is what it was like. Upside down cars. I mean, how scary is that? Wait, I'll show you another one. This was semis. I don't know if you could tell, but this is like a semi way off the road. Oh, and then there was another semi that was upside down. It was just insane. Let's just put it that way. So instead of taking me an hour, 20 minutes to drive to Cedar Rapids, it was like closer to 3 hours because I was not going to be one of those. And then instead of taking 5 minutes to return my car, it took an hour because I had to fill out all of these forms because because of the insurance thing. And so instead of having 8 hours yesterday and another 8 hours today, I finally got in my room with about an hour to spare. So what did I do? I said, thank you, God. How does it get any better than this? Oh, and then I was talking to my friend Jose Hernandez as I was, the last leg of my journey. And he says, I find that and I didn't tell him the whole thing. We were talking about something else. And out of the blue, he said, because he teaches, he's a fabulous teacher. And he said, I find that whenever I don't have time to prepare a talk, that it's always the best talk. And I said, why did you say that? He said, I don't know. It just came into my mind to say that. And then I told him why I needed him to say that. So I come here, I sit down, I pray to the angels, please, angels, you got to rescue me here. And just like at least put an idea into my mind of what I should share with everybody today. And I kid you not, I opened my computer and the first thing that showed up, it was a bunch of emails, and the first email was from Ann Albers, and it was a message from the angels. And I read it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is exactly what we need to talk about today. It was so much better. I mean, I shouldn't say so much better. It is just so perfect for our last time together that I just said, thank you, angels. And it's a lot about asking the angels. So, with that having been said, I am going to begin today by reading to you what this message is. And it's kind of long, but what I want you to do is just don't multitask. Okay. And we are going to talk about how we're going to continue. And Cousin Marsh and the people who come to Mastermind figured it out. Thank you for figuring it out. I love when you figure out my life for me. And and really, I mean, seriously, I do. I'm not being sarcastic. Thank you, Masterminders, for figuring out. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read this message from the angels, and then we're going to do an exercise, and then we're going to go into breakout rooms. And then, of course, that gave rise to some more things that I thought of to share with you. Good? You're going to faint. Well, don't faint, but you're going to faint when you hear what the angels had to say. It is crazy. All right. How many of you are noticing that since you've been doing this work, that things like that happen to you? Just like you think, and you say, thank you, God. How does it get any better than this? And just something more magical happens, right? Yeah. Yeah. And Julie said, I've definitely experienced angelic support. And Chris, I can't wait to meet you next month. It's not even a month away. Oh, if anybody wants to join us down in Florida, it's going to be such an incredible event. I'll tell you about it later. Okay. So here we go. So just listen, just surrender, and just know that this is exactly what we were supposed to hear tonight, all of us. I just want to get there, get in that space. Okay. And this is channeled by Annie Albers, who's an angel communicator, and she channels through the angels for us every month from the angels. My dear friends, that's you. We love you so very much. The universe is unlimited. No dream or desire is too big, too small, or too frivolous for the divine. And no prayer is ignored. No request falls on deaf ears. The moment you have a loving desire, the divine and your angels begin to guide you towards it. Your job is to allow us to assist and to be in a vibration, a vibration high enough to perceive our guidance. So just think about that. Your job is to allow us to assist and to be in a vibration high enough to perceive our guidance. And that's what 2.0, that's what all these teachings are about, is to be in a high vibration. There are many reasons why you don't receive what you're asking for, and they all have to do with your willingness to be in a receptive state. The divine is not withholding love. Your angels are not withholding guidance. However, consider this analogy. Even if the pipes provide the water, none will flow unless the faucet is turned on. Even if the love flows eternally, you must open your faucet to receive it from the heavens. Fear and doubt keep you in a vibration that makes it difficult for you to perceive guidance. One of the biggest reasons you doubt that you will receive what you want is that at a deeper level, you doubt your own worthiness. Prior generations often taught you to set aside your feelings or to put aside your dreams and to get real. There were those who convinced you that your desires were not important enough to warrant divine attention. Dear ones, many on your path simply did not know any better. As a result, they convinced you that you should not ask for too much. How many of you feel like you should not ask for too much? This was a subtle way of telling you that you are not worthy to have all you desire. The people who propagated these spiritual untruths didn't know any better. They weren't malicious. They were simply afraid that if you asked for what you wanted, you'd be disappointed, that you'd be unable to, that they'd be unable to assist, or that by following your dreams, you'd be depriving them of their own. I'm going to read that again. They weren't malicious. They were simply afraid that if you asked for what you wanted, you'd be disappointed, or they'd be unable to assist, or that by following your dreams, you'd be depriving them of their own. So 3 things why they told you that lie. They were afraid that if you asked for what you want, you'd be disappointed, and they loved you. They'd be unable to help you get that dream, or that by following, which is a little bit less enlightened, by following your dreams, you'd be depriving them of their dreams. They simply didn't understand the way the universe works. They didn't know the law of vibration. They didn't know that the creator can satisfy the essence of all desires so elegantly that everyone ends up happy. Someone taught you that you were selfish to ask for more. They didn't know or understand the unlimited love of the divine. There were many who felt they must play God and they must satisfy your desires. And when they couldn't, they convinced you that you were asking for too much. Dear ones, what is too much? Is it a certain dollar amount? Is it a certain number of prayers per day? Is it too much to ask for more when you already have enough? Or to ask for more when others have less? How do you define too much? When we think about it, the idea of defining too much is absurd when you're talking about the divine, because the divine has no limitations. The divine is infinite. Instead of worrying about whether or not you're asking for too much, we would urge you to simply be honest and authentic in your prayers. Stop worrying about whether or not you're asking for too much, and instead ask for what you honestly want. Do you dream of going to the beach even though you just returned from a vacation to the mountains? Ask for help achieving that. Do you want more money even though you live very well? Ask for help manifesting the things you want to add to your life. Do you want more but feel guilty because others have so much less? Do you want to live in peace even though that dream seems so far away? Dear ones, you cannot deprive others by your prayers, no matter how many or how grand. You have to remember that God is infinite. The creator is not a human person with limited time and limited resources. While your parents or your spouse may not have been able to give you the attention you wanted, the divine can. While your teachers are physically not able to give all the children in the classroom attention, the divine can pay attention to each of the 8+ billion people on earth. While people have budgets and constraints, the divine does not. So while human beings might have sent you the signal that you could ask for too much, the divine knows no such limitation. You have heard the phrase, ask and you shall receive. We say, ask, believe, know you are worthy, and you will receive. Ask, believe, know you are worthy, and then you will receive. When you ask your angels for help, you do not deprive anyone else of their assistance. When you ask the divine for more, nothing is taken away from anyone else. How many of you have that, by the way, that you don't feel right to ask for more because you have the subtle thing going on that other people have less? Raise your hand if you have that thing going on. Yeah. All of the, as my mother would say, all the do-gooders. Yeah, all the do-gooders. When you, like an innocent child, happily dream up a list of authentic desires, we delight in your joy and your willingness to bring love into form, and we get to work guiding you towards the fulfillment of those desires. There is no need to selflessly deprive yourself of the creations you truly desire. We want you to be your authentic self and be rooted in your true self. Do you want help managing your schedule today? Ask for help. Be willing to believe it could come. Trust the movement of your heart and the unfolding path that guides you through natural and inspired impulses. If you pray for safety and believe enough to receive, you will be guided around any coming danger. How many of you feel sometimes that there's danger coming? Anyone? Yeah? What does it say here? If you pray for safety and believe enough to receive, you will be guided around any danger. Did you think about that? Pray for that. Ask for that. If you pray for abundance and believe enough to receive, you will be guided to joyfully allow it into your life. If you pray for another to the degree that you are willing to allow good to flow, you will assist them in their creation. Dear ones, your asking deprives no one. Your desires, when they come from a desire to experience a more loving reality in any form, are important for the divine. You are part of unfolding creation, and your desires allow love to flow into this world of form. So ask for the help, ask for the finances, ask for the hugs, ask for the things, ask for the feelings, ask for the healings, and ask for the help you desire. Then let it go. Stop trying to figure out if you deserve it, if it will happen, when it will happen, how it will happen. Worrying about how to fulfill your own prayers simply gets in the way. You cannot perceive loving guidance while focused on worry. You cannot perceive loving guidance while focused on worry. You cannot hear the whispers of certainty when you feel doubt. If you like the little ones, like the children, remember your worthiness. You'd ask, believe, expect, and anticipate your dreams coming true. You'd go about your business, enjoying your day while knowing the divine is always with you and always encouraging you to listen to your heart and follow the path of joy. Dear ones, we love you. We celebrate your willingness to call the infinite into various beautiful and loving forms. You can never ask for too much when your asking is born of love. Be like the little children, innocent, honest, and excited about watching your dreams take form. God bless you. We love you so very much. The angels. So now there's more. Good so far? And we're going to do this. We're going to make a list in a minute. But then Anne, who I think is as brilliant as the angels themselves, gave a commentary on this. All right. And this is what she said. Lately, I've started to feel more deeply than ever before how loved we all really are. Even in the face of big challenges last year, I could feel the angels all around. I could feel the divine. I could feel the whispers of guidance that reminded me not to fall into the world's view of what's possible, but to remain rooted in the knowing that indeed, quote, all things are possible with God. You've heard these stories before. When I got the news of potentially fatal diagnosis for a loved one, I took a breath and started asking for help and supporting their desire to live. They are alive. They are living even more fully than before. I now expect divine help. Write that down. Expect divine help. Not because I'm special or have some sort of favor because of my work, but because it is always given. In hundreds and hundreds of sessions, the angels have told people over and over again, here's another soundbite. You are worthy because you exist. You are worthy because you exist. And if that, my friends, if that was the only thing that I told you tonight, a cell expects help from the nervous system, and as a part of the body of God on earth, we can expect help too. The more I let go of my worries and concerns and focus on enjoying my day, here we go again. The more I let go of my worries and concerns and focus on enjoying my day, the quicker solutions, answers, and desires appear. So I'm going to remind you of something from the time management module of Yes to Success. And that is to take appreciation breaks. How many of you remember taking appreciation breaks? Okay. Put a little sticker. I'm sure your sticker isn't there anymore. Take an appreciation break, which means you stop in the middle and you just breathe in and you just thank you, God, for, by the way, thank you, God, for my monkey brittle. This is monkey brittle. You got to order monkey brittle. It's my friend's kids' 3 ingredients: organic bananas, organic nuts, and organic raisins. And it tastes as sweet as peanut brittle. You can't even imagine how yummy this stuff is. Look at this. Monkey brittle. It is so good. Bananas, walnuts, and raisins. So thank you for my monkey brittle. Okay. Thank you for just everything. Thank you for my blue light blocker glasses. Thank you for you guys. Thank you. You just stop in the middle of the day. Thank you that I wasn't one of the people who spun off the road, but I am here safe and sound. And let's bless all of those who did. Let's just send them some love and that they are safe and sound and that karma is out of the way. And now their path is just paved with light, knowing that it's all perfect in God's creation. So take appreciation breaks throughout the day. So what she says, the more I let go of my worries and concerns and focus on enjoying my day, the quicker solutions, answers, and desires appear. This year, my want to-do list is absolutely insane. I decided to make my life easier. I asked for too much. And then I gave the whole list to Spirit with this prayer. Dear God, you know I want to accomplish all these things in grace, flow, and ease. That's a good one for those of you who are overachievers. Dear God, support me in accomplishing all these things in grace, flow, and ease. Support me in accomplishing all these things in grace, flow, and ease. I will enjoy the journey. She says, I want to enjoy the journey. I'll switch it up a bit. I will enjoy the journey. I will do every task at the optimal time in the optimal way. I will attract the right help, the right wisdom, the necessary resources. Help me want to do what is best to be done when the timing is right. So she tells a story, and then she gives 3 more things we could do. Last weekend, Spirit rearranged my schedule to answer that prayer. I woke up Saturday morning thinking that I'd start preparing my taxes, and I was fired up to do so, when all of a sudden I had this impulse to check the weather. It was a good thing. I had no idea that we were due for a deep freeze that night, and that all my lemons would have become lemonsicles, and all my sweet potatoes would have turned to mush. It was time to tend to the farm, as I call my backyard. So instead of doing my taxes, instead of being disappointed about not being able to do my taxes, out came the ladder, the protective jacket, the elbow length gloves I use when picking lemons, and the pruning shears. Up went the hair, and into the tree I went. One with the tree, high in the branches. I was offered the generosity of nature's bounty in the form of lemons so large that they rivaled children's footballs. The fresh scent was heaven. The day was cool. The birds sang. I picked over 1,000 lemons, which would have been gone had I not asked and expressed that prayer. I distributed them to family and friends, except the ones I'm going to be juicing, turning into lemon curds. How much is too much? I don't know, but I know that I can handle too much. The cup and the love runneth over. My citrus abundance has delighted and connected so many people. I renewed a friendship with the neighbor. I got to know my in-laws' in-laws. I grew closer to the people at the postal store that I brought some lemons to. My mom shared lemons with people who assisted her, even my parents' neighbors' family, blah, 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 blah. As if the lemon love wasn't enough, the sweet potato patch also, then she goes on and on about the sweet potatoes and all of the tubers that she gave away. From now on, I'm asking for more help in the timing of the gazillion things I have to do in the next few weeks, more help in helping my loved ones heal, more help in achieving the creative projects that I want to bring into form, more time to write books. The more that I'm asking for isn't depriving anyone. It allows me to bless more. Oftentimes the angels say to me, fill it and spill it. That's a good one. Fill it and spill it. The more I fill my life by allowing myself to focus on the good, listening to my impulses, and allowing Spirit to help me, the more love I can share with the world. There's a reason we say, my cup runneth over. It's not just my cup is full. No, my cup runneth over. When we allow Spirit to fill us, we naturally want to share the goodness, share the love, share the light, share the joy. When we're feeling filled with love by putting our attention on the good, then it's easy to wish for it for all. We become conduits for the current of love that wants to flow to all. So here are some pointers to help you make peace with the fact that there's no such thing as asking for too much. Number 1, ready? Eating your peas will not save starving people. Eat your dinner. There are, how many of you had that? My parents definitely said, eat your meal. There are starving children. Then for me, it was in China. Okay. She says there are starving people in parentheses, fill in the country. That was a very common saying when I grew up. I remember silently thinking as a child, feel free to send these vegetables to them. That's perfect. I now know, of course, that the saying was meant to teach us that we should appreciate what we had when others didn't have as much. But as a child, it made no sense to me thinking that my suffering, eating peas, would feed another. Depriving yourself of angelic or divine help because you don't want to take time away from others, like the angels take, I used to do that until today, that I would think, I don't want to bother the angels. How many of you have that? I don't want to bother the angels, right? This is like insane. I mean, can you hear us? There are like legions of angels and their greatest joy is to help us, and we don't want to bother them. What is with us? So how many are you going to make a commitment? No more thinking that you're bothering the angels. Write in the chat, I commit to asking the angels for more than enough. And then she says, all right, here we go. We're all making the commitment. Yes, I commit, I commit, I commit, I commit, commit. Give the angels permission to not be lazy and get bored. I commit. And then again, depriving yourself of angelic help because you don't want to take time away from others with more serious problems, right? Is as untrue as thinking that eating your peas will save others from starvation. The divine has an infinite supply of love, resources, time, energy. Instead of worrying about your prayers depriving others, think of all the ways you can bless others when your prayers are answered. Ooh, that's a good one. Think of all the ways you can bless others when your prayers for more abundance are answered. How many of you feel like when good comes to you, then you have the desire even more to give it to others? Right? Amen, right? So think about it, that if you need a reason to think about it, that when you get goodness overflowing to you, then it's easier and you can bless others even better and sooner. That makes it easier to ask for more. Yeah, right, Chris? Okay. Number 2, you are worthy because you exist. Unworthiness is a mental virus that gets in the way of asking the divine. Oh, I got a flash. Wait, I don't want to lose it. Unworthiness is a mental virus that gets in the way of asking the divine for what we really want. So that's it. When we don't ask the divine for what we really want, it's because we feel unworthy. But I just got it that when we say, this is what I really want, it opens us up not only to getting the thing, but to feel more worthy. Got it? When it's like a signal. Okay, I want that money. I want that job. I want that relationship. I want that health. Give it to me, God. Give it to me, angels. And when you say that, it opens you up and it makes you feel more worthy. We don't do it. We don't say it. We don't ask for it. In that, the more we don't, the more we contract. But when we ask for it, the more we open. And don't doubt this. Don't think in your mind right now, I might not still do it. Like, listen, seriously, you're in Success Circle. Do it. And I also got, it's going to bring you more joy and it's going to uplift your vibration. And when it brings you more joy, and you don't have to have perfect health. You don't have to be in the perfect relationship. One of the things I knew that I had wanted to talk about today is, again, emphasizing, I was here, I'm not in Fairfield, Iowa anymore, but until this morning I was in Fairfield, Iowa. And there were a lot of people there who live very, 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 very simply. They have little teeny houses in Fairfield, Iowa, and they're so happy. They don't have a lot of money. They're single, but they look for the good and they appreciate, like Shiva Ma, Marsh. Shiva Ma, she blows my mind. Well, actually, I shouldn't have said the name, but you guys don't know Shiva Ma. Not 2 nickels to rub together, but happy. And because she lets that love and that joy flow, think people just give her stuff. I mean, I was talking to somebody, I won't mention any more names, but another person who, is not well off, but she doesn't act like it. She just is in enjoy and appreciates her little house, and she appreciates what, she does massage, and so she appreciates so much that she could, help people with her massage practice. And people call her up and say, "Hey, I'd like to give you an all expenses. Would you go with me to Bali for 2 weeks? Because I don't want to go by myself, and there's no one I would like more than you to come with me." Right? Because she thinks she deserves it, but not like in a haughty kind of way. But she just loves, and she is love. Unworthiness is a mental virus that gets in the way of asking the divine for what you really want and then expecting it to come. We had to earn love from humans. We don't have to earn love from the creator. Soundbite. We don't have to earn love from the creator. The angels often say in readings, "You are worthy because you exist." A cell is worthy of nerve signals because it exists. You are worthy of what you desire because you exist. You are part of creation. You don't have to earn angelic love. You already have it. They love you more than you even love yourself. So make a decision that you are worthy and then accept yourself without condition. The universe already does. Next, number 3, test it out. And this is going to be what we're going to do now. So what I want you to do is I want you to make a list of all you could think of that you truly desire, and watch yourself, things you want help with. If you want more time, the ways in which you'd like to evolve, old habits you like to release, situations you want to be healed, physical conditions you want help with. Imagine here's what she says. She says, imagine putting your list in a balloon and then releasing it to the universe, or writing it down and just closing the book. She says, I used to have a box that I tossed wishes in and then closed the lid, symbolizing the release. Eventually, everything I asked for eventually appeared. How many of you go back and look at your 50 things to have be and do list that you wrote in the first Yes to Success like years ago, and you're like, wow, I don't even remember writing that down, and I got that thing. And just Chris, raise your hand. Anybody? Go back and look at your 50 things to have, be, and do. Yoshimi, lots of people are raising their hands. Dorji, I have people here in Fairfield. It's a fun place to be because it was one of the first places I taught Yes to Success 42 years ago. And I cannot walk through the grocery store here. It's called Everybody's. I told Marsh, I could not even walk through the grocery store without, the first night I arrived, all I wanted to do was just run in for 10 minutes and get some food, get a couple avocados and some lemons. I was in there for an hour because everybody that saw me, I hadn't been here for a long time, I took Yes to Success in 1983, and I have to tell you what happened. And then they tell me everything that happened. And it was on my list, my poster, that we used to have a big poster when we did it live. And seriously, every aisle, I bumped into somebody else. You don't remember me, but I took Yes to Success in 1985, and I wrote down this. So anyway, this is another thing. If you want to do it, she says this: putting a desire in the box symbolizes releasing to the universe. I don't let go of the desire. I let go of thinking about it, stressing about it, worrying about it, and wondering about it. That's it. I don't let go of the desire. I let go of thinking about it, stressing about it, worrying about it, wondering about it. Isn't that like a brilliant little twist? You don't let go of the desire. And might I add, talking about how it's not going to happen. Or giving all the reasons why it's not going to happen, or complaining about it. Okay. When you let go in this fashion, you can enjoy your day, you can raise your vibration, and you can hear your guidance. I grew up, as many of us did, feeling like I didn't want to bother anyone, impose on anyone, or ask too much. And like many of us, I projected those human-to-human ideas onto God. I didn't want to ask God for too much. I didn't want to impose my will upon his will. I didn't want to bother my angels, and now I know how erroneous that thinking is. The minute you admit a desire, the force that creates universes is on it. Your angels who adore you and celebrate your joy start guiding you. This is good. Think of someone you dearly love, be it a human or a pet. You want to see them happy. You want to share the goodness in life with them. So think of somebody you love. It would not be easy if they refused to accept your love. Think about that. It would not be easy if they refused to accept your love. It would drive you crazy, in fact, if they said to you, no, thank you, I'm unworthy. All right? What have you said to your kids or your niece or your dog or your cat? No, don't love me. No, thank you. I'm unworthy. She says, so don't drive your angels crazy. Seriously, you can't even cause them to waver from love, but you can allow them to love you. You can ask for help. You could sit, breathe, believe, receive. They live to love and love to love. Please let them. I mean, is this mind blowing to you? It's mind blowing to me. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for somebody crashing into my car. Thank you, God, for taking an hour at the car rental. But you see that? Rejection is God's protection. You know, whose agenda is it? Your agenda or God's agenda? And if I was like, I can't believe this is shaking, I can't believe the person's picking up my suitcases in here yet. I can't believe, then I wouldn't have been open to this miracle. Got it? Thank you, God. How's it get any better than this? Right? And it's worth it, my $500 deductible, because nobody left a note. And I mean it. This is worth more than $500. Absolutely, 1,000%. Okay, so now I have some more things that I want to share, but here's what I'd like you to do. I want you to take out a paper and I want you to write down desires, no more of this feeling unworthy, no more. What was one of those there was that soundbite that I absolutely loved. Anyway, I can't find it, but knowing that you are worthy because you exist, right? And then while you're doing this, I'm going to read because I'm sorry, because I'm going to read your comments because I'm sure that you wrote some really cool comments. And I want you to ask for too much. All right? Quote unquote, too much. So you got the pointers, and to make peace with the fact that there's no such thing as asking too much. So I'm going to stop talking. I still don't know how to play music without it being scratchy. So I'm not going to play any cool music for all of you. I'm just going to let you work on your list. All right. Wait, but I just want to go. Everybody going to write too much? Ask for too much? And not let any of your old stories about, eating your peas get in the way. All right, go for it. All right. Finish up the thought that you're on. So we're going to go into breakout rooms, but I was wondering, and again, I always say this, the same people tend to share, and I so appreciate that you do, but is there anybody who hasn't shared or maybe only shared once that would like to share what this, what happened when you were doing this process or any insight that you had? And don't be shy. I would love to hear, you have to raise your hand by clicking on reactions. Just a little bit of sharing before we go into the breakout rooms. And then I have more to share. Anybody? Some thoughts? I know you all have thoughts. See, it's interesting because I bet the people who share a lot are thinking, well, I have something to share. Okay, good. We have Kelly and then Chantal, and that is awesome. Okay, sorry. There you go.
I just want to say that I caught myself while I was writing going, well, that's too big. It's like, no, it's not. And I had to shift that around to say, oh, I can have whatever I want. And I think that way. But when I was writing, the pen told me the truth. So it was fun to see and witness that and shift that. So I couldn't write sleep.
I love that. By the way, we have lots of hands now, so no more. Thank you. We have 1, 2, 5 hands. And that is, okay, and I want to just ask, how many of the rest of you went to write something, you're, oh, that's too much, and then you wrote it anyway? You did it. You overcame that. Uh-huh. All right. Very good. I love it. Thank you. That was fantastic. Thank you, Kelly. Okay, so our next person is Chantal.
Hey, Deborah.
Hi,
For me, it was you, by sharing what you've shared with us, you gave me permission to just do it. There was no, it's like, oh, mommy told me I can have ice cream kind of thing.
which you can't, but
It was like I had permission to dream big, and I wasn't going small at all. So thank you, darling, and happy birthday.
Oh yeah, pretty soon. 72. 72. Eyes of blue. Oh no, wait, I have brown eyes. Thank you. Woohoo. Okay. Oh, there we go. Remove spotlight. Abby. Hi, dear. Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
So thank you for encouraging me to speak. Actually, before the class started today, I was just thinking, who can I call? Got some comments on some work that I had been doing in my new job, which I'm in this mental health policy job that I really wanted and have these very, um, high aspirations. But exactly what you talked about today was what I needed to hear, because there's always that back of my mind that says, that makes me second guess and think more about it rather than, asking.
Yes. And because I know what you're doing, and I know your aspirations, and it's such a perfect example of, is it too big? Is it too much? But when you do what you do with joy, that's the other thing. When you do what you're doing and at the same time desire that. And she says, put it in the box, but when you're doing something at work, you also have to take steps every day,
right,
towards the vision of your goal. Right? Don't worry about it. Don't obsess about it, but be willing to take steps when the steps are presented to you.
Yeah, I think but the second guessing is sometimes there. So when I start to do that, that's when I should be asking for help, right?
Exactly. No second guessing, girl. The world needs what you have to offer.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and I just want to say one other thing. That thing that just came out of my mouth, the world needs what you have to offer. that's the deal. We each have different skills. We each have different contributions that we were born to make. And if we weren't supposed to fulfill that desire, we wouldn't have the desire. I love what you're doing, but it's not what I was put on earth to do, but it's what you were put on earth to do. So do it.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mars. Marcy.
Hi, yeah. So I so easily ask for things for others. That's just, and so doing this, I did include some asking for other people, but it was more like, oh, I because I have this whole thing of, oh, I need to not ask for myself because of all the things you read. I just was like, okay, this is good. I'm going to ask for what I really want for me as well as for others, because it makes so much difference. And just a perfect example today, I happened to mention that, oh, those donuts that somebody brought, no, they're fine, but crumble cookies, now that's great. And I wasn't meaning for somebody to go buy it, but one of the patient's relatives I was talking to, he went and bought crumble cookies. I was not asking for it, but he did.
No, and this is really important too, because how many of you have this thing that, somebody says, well, what kind of donuts do you want? And you don't even feel worthy of saying, I like an apple fritter. You just let them bring whatever kind of donuts. Raise your hand if that's you. I want to see. All right, about half of you. Okay. So will you commit to actually asking the humans? Who will make that commitment? You will ask the humans that, because I've done that. People say, oh, what do you want from Starbucks? And I don't want to really ask for the really expensive thing with oat milk. And I'm like, oh, no, that's okay. I don't want anything. As my mother would say, God forbid you should ask for the oat milk because it would cost too much for that other person. Okay, so you're all there. We're going to ask for what we really want. Okay.
I did actually ask for vegetables, but he brought crumble cake anyway. Crumble cookies anyway.
That's funny. All right. Well, thank you for that share. Okay, Dana. Wait, hold on. Remove spotlight. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey.
Hi. Well, I was really surprised because every time I've done this where, you write down your wishes and your desires, I have always put on there that I wanted to fix my relationship with my sister. We've been estranged for almost 7 years. And, so I write that down each time and I work on it. And this time I went to write it down naturally. And I thought, you know what? No, I am beyond that. And, I'm always open to it. But right now, that's not one of my desires anymore.
Wow. Letting it go. Just let
Right.
it go and let the universe work it out. Be interesting to see what happens. But, and that's it. I love the work of Byron Katie because Katie says, who says you have to be friends with your sister? That's what Katie says. Is it true that you have to like your mother? Is it true? And if you do the work of Byron Katie and you drill down, it doesn't say that you have to be friend. Maybe you just don't. Maybe you're just on different paths. I know you were, came out of the same womb, but
Right.
maybe, and I don't, maybe your sister could be the loveliest person, but maybe having her in your life isn't. Right now, you're on a path to raise your vibration. You're on a path for self-realization.
Right.
You're on a path to live a life filled with joy. And maybe having her, she could be your greatest teacher and overcoming whatever it is that you have with her could, but who says, that somebody has to be your greatest teacher? So letting go. I love the work of Byron.
Thank you.
Thank you. I talked about you the other day in 2.0. I did. Camp. Okay. All right. And Caroline will be the last. And then we're going to move on. Okay. Caroline.
And I have spoken before, so, but what's been coming up is something unusual, and I'm not sure if others have had this. What's come up is not the fear. I can ask for what I want, but there's being attacked around it. And this would happen as a child, but it also happened when Christopher and I were putting out these 2 major development projects, and we had major committed funding, but we kept being attacked, and we knew about other people who were doing important things and they were attacked. And I don't know what to do because I've realized in doing this exercise that I have a fear that I can put it out there, but I don't know where the attack's going to come from.
Yeah,
I
but
don't get it. Don't
hold
take
on.
it away.
Hold on. That's I think that falls in the category of because it's happened in the past, you expect for it to happen in the future. So what I would recommend that you ask for the angels is to take away the fear of being attacked.
Okay.
And only light, love, glorious, light-filled, sunshine-filled path. I see the path for this project filled with light, filled with love, filled with, just ask the angels to make clear your path. And I understand, but and I don't want to put this in your mind, but we have big jobs to do here on the planet. And what you have to do is really big, and not to be negative, but there are forces, we know that there are forces there are energies that might not want light to be on this planet like what you guys are bringing. But should you let that stop you?
Well, it never has.
Exactly.
I'm not a kid anymore, and Christopher's transitioned, and part of me, I just want to be an artist. I want to have the resources in the home and the art studio to
Okay,
be
wait.
and do the other stuff and pass these projects on to someone else.
Okay, so here's another thing. Wanting, that word want is, I don't like the word want. I really do not like the word want at all, because want doesn't mean you're fulfilling it. I want something. That doesn't mean you're going to have it. The path to becoming a full-time artist is made clear, effortless, and filled with light. Not, I want to be a full-time artist. It keeps you wanting. Exactly.
Right. It's the state of wanting is always not having.
Exactly. And you know that as well as I do, and everybody. So we have to stop. How many are going to make the commitment right now? Get that word out of your vocabulary. What I want is this.
Well, you can say I desire, or I
would just say I see myself.
I see myself. Okay, so
see myself
in that place. It's seeing
yourself. I see it already done, Chantal. Thank you. I see it already done, because in God's in the world of God and the angels, and Albert said this, that when we have a desire, it's already fulfilled. We just have to walk towards it. But the problem with us is that we, fear and other people's opinions and failure in the past puts all of these blockades. So what we are going to create is the path towards my fulfillment is filled with light, is filled with grace, it's filled with angelic guidance. Guidance. That's what you want. You want the guidance to be clear on how you can take your steps.
Yes, clear guidance. Exactly.
Yeah. So, and I said the word want, but just state the guidance is clear as to what are my next steps.
that I have clear guidance. I
have clear guidance.
have clear guidance. I have a path forward. I have the joy. The 3 words that came to me when I did the thing with the Mastros on Sunday evening, on Saturday evening, I did that thing, was joy, ease, and trust.
Mm,
So
beautiful.
joy, ease, and trust. And because without trust, we have nothing. And I have always lived in a state of joy. I'm an upbeat person, always have been, thank God. And thank you, God. And ease, because we want to live everything in ease. We want to get everything done in ease. We want to enjoy our lives in ease.
You know, and also the other thing that I would recommend is this amazing project, and I know what it is, and I know you've shared it with me. I would also put it in the box and give it to the angels and give it to God, and the path for this to manifest is filled with grace and ease and in perfect timing, as is God's will.
Yeah.
And that's when you could let go, because I know because of the situation with Christopher, there is contraction around it. So what I would, because it was his dream and now he's not on the planet anymore.
And we were doing it together. It wasn't
And
just
you were doing it together, I know.
we did this for 30 years. I mean, this is not a minor thing.
It's, I know. Okay, so somebody's saying, is your art behind you? Yes, that is her art. She's
Yeah.
a glass artist.
Not my art.
Put your website in the chat, and then we're gonna go and we're gonna have Dorji
Okay.
talk, and then we're gonna go into breakout rooms.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. We can do this.
We can do this. Dorji, oh my goodness. Wait, you're muted.
I was going to keep quiet because I'm always picking up the microphone, but then as I'm listening to this, I felt I had to say what I feel. My mission statement long time ago when I started this, was I come from a culture that is very male dominated. And one of the points in my mission statement was, to tell my Mongolian tribes friends, right, that you don't have to be male dominated. You can become loving. You don't have to be better and tougher than other people. And I forgot that. So I started working on helping the Kalmyk refugees, and things are working out great. I'm helping people. People want my help. Everything is working out. Then the first person I talk to is a dancer. And he's talking to me and he's appreciating what I'm doing. And then he says to me, let's all get some men together and we do this. A light went out here. And I thought to myself, hold on, And I said, I didn't have the guts to tell him he's wrong. I told him we are in America and there's a lot of women and you cannot do that. I should have told him right then and there that he was wrong. And I didn't have the guts. And right now, I know, after we did this, I have to tell him,
Wow.
You are wrong. And this is really what we have to do. Instead of dominating, we have to love. And that's what came now.
Thank you. Instead of dominating, we have to love. Wow. Is that what you said?
That's the way.
Dominating, you go, Dorji. Oh my goodness. I love that. Instead of dominating, we have to love. And what's so funny is after you go to breakout rooms, I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to talk about next, but it is exactly what you just said about maybe something we did in the past that we might want to go back and redo.
And the angels got the right subject for you. I had to hear that.
Right? Oh, thank you, God. All right. Thank you, Dorji. All right. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go into breakout rooms. And what we're going to do in the breakout rooms is that we are going to intention for each other. Who would love to pick one and have everybody intention for the fulfillment of that desire that we wrote down, one of our outrageous desires? You like that idea? You like that idea for their breakout rooms? Okay, good. So because we're going to do it, I'm going to put you in groups of 8. And I'm going to put you in groups of 8, and because that's the magic number according to Lynn McTaggart. So you're going to have a group of 8. If for some reason there's only 7, the truth is she says it works with 7 also. She's my bud. And I asked her about 8 and she said, well, it still works with 7. So even with 6, but I'm going to put you in groups of 8 anyway. And here's how it's going to go. You're each going to say one of your outrageous desires. And then everybody is going to picture you in having that desire fulfilled. So they're going to picture you with the fulfillment of that desire. And then you're going to go to the next person. And then you're going to go to the next person. And then you're going to go to the next person. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. And then when we come back, we have lots more to do. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes because well, I better give you 12 minutes because you simply state your desire as concisely as you can. And then somebody times it 60 seconds. And so it is. Next person, you go to the next person. Actually, I think I better not. Yeah, I think we could do it in 12 minutes. Okay. So everybody got it? It's really clear what we're going to do. So I'm going to put you in breakout rooms. And don't get too cozy with it, but accept your breakout room right away. Otherwise, I take you off and put you somewhere else because there isn't enough, because there are enough people. And please put on your video. All right. So here we go. I'm going to recreate the breakout rooms and we are going to.
Okay.
If you're not going to be in breakout room, please leave. And accept your breakout rooms as quickly as you can. It's now 18 after, so it's, oh, perfect. We'll get back together at 8:30. That would be Central Time. Here we go. Okay. Oh, wait, not okay. No. Huh. That's weird. I closed the rooms. Is everybody back? Let me see. That is so bizarre because it says the rooms are still open, but you're all here. Oh, well, okay. So
Best
who's the
group.
best room?
Best group.
Chris had the best room.
I'm going to have to wait. There's some people who are not muted. So I'm going to mute all, even though I love hearing your beautiful voices saying that you had the best room, even though I know Chris did. So Chris and I are going to be at this event together in Florida, and there's a lot of breakout rooms. So I'm going to warn them in advance that you're going to have the best. And your wife, I get to meet your wife. I'm so excited. Okay, all right. But how was that? Did that feel good to intention for each other's desires? Ooh, I just got a hit how good that is. Okay. Ooh, somebody said that their birthday is January 24th. Also, who is that? Oops, Debbie. Oh my goodness. Everybody named Debbie has to have their birthday on January 24th. How do you like that? Okay. Hi, Debbie. Oh my gosh. We're birthday twins. Only I'm older. Okay. So respect your elders. All right. So now here's what we're going to do. We're going to do 2 more things and then we're going to intention and then we have something to do at the end. But I'm just going to give you a few more pointers on how to supercharge your desires. You want a couple more? Just a few more things that you could do because this is our last time. Here's one way, and it's a story about something that happened a few years ago. But anyway, okay. The first year I was no longer co-leading your Year of Miracles was with Marcy. I think I might have told some of you this story before, but oh, look at everybody. Number 3 was fabulous. I bet Chris has the best wife too. That's so funny. Well, I guess I'll get to know in a few weeks whether he is the best wife too. And Elizabeth said, I felt like a fairy godmother intentioning for others. Kelly said it was joyful. Caroline says, room 3 felt wonderful. We could have used a little more time. I actually gave you a little bit more time. You probably noticed because I realized that the transition time was not enough. Let's do it again, please. Okay. And then everybody says they had their best room. The best room. So I'm just going to tell you the story. I was a few years ago, the first year that I wasn't co-leading your Year of Miracles anymore with Marcy. What happened was that someone was putting on a summit and asked me to be one of the keynote speakers, like the big main speakers on the summit. And it was a big telesummit populated with speakers whose names you would all have heard of. And it was a big deal. And the host, when she invited me, she effused about how much she loves me and I'm her favorite speaker. And that when she's had me before, that I was everybody's life changed more from what I shared. And she was just on and on and on and on. And blah, blah, blah. And later, when she realized that I no longer had access to the big Your Year of Miracles mailing list, I was uninvited to be a speaker. And my first impulse was to explain, yeah, but when Marcy mails, because Marcy was invited too, I mean, that's really my list too. She just now has jurisdiction over it because it's your Year of Miracles list. But the voice said to me, this summit is not the source of your success and prosperity. I mean, because I was disappointed. The only source is the grace of God. So just send her love and wish her well, because I could have really gotten bent out of shape and say, which is what I did. I even wrote her a really nice email saying I understood. And I did understand because I play that game too. People with large mailing lists and it's just a whole game that transformational people, because that's how we run our business. We run our business by other people mailing for us. If that wasn't happening, I mean, how many of you came here because you heard about Yes to Success to begin with because somebody else mailed? Sue Morter mailed or Marcy mailed, or you probably don't even remember because it was so long ago, but that's how we get new people. So I said, I hope her event is a huge success, and I really appreciate her considering me to begin with. And what happened was, it wasn't a huge success. In fact, my friends who were on it put a lot of energy into it and said that really nothing came from it. What I say is we have to remember is rejection is God's protection. And you know what I'm going to say. When you ask for something, you get 3 answers. One of 3 answers. Yes, here it is. Not yet, be patient. Or I love you too much to give you this. Because there's something better on its way. And in that case, what was better was that I didn't spend all the time getting ready for this thing that didn't bring anybody anything, and my integrity was intact. By being kind, by not bad-mouthing her. I mean, I'm not even going to tell you who it is because there's no reason. And my realization was that I will get the greatest rewards by being true to myself, and that impeccable integrity is the need of the time. We complain about our world leaders not having integrity, lying for their own personal benefit, but we as light bearers, we have a bigger responsibility because we know better. You know, Maya Angelou said, do the best you can until you know better, and then when you know better, do better. One of my favorite quotes. We know better, yet sometimes we watch ourselves not doing better. So not only do we want to think big, ask, there is no limitations in God's universe. But sometimes what we do is we watch ourselves not doing better. How many of you know what I mean by you watch yourself not doing better? Right, Dave? And Dave's giving me a thumbs up. Okay, so not living our truth, going along with the crowd instead of saying this doesn't feel right, or we condemn others for not speaking up, or our politicians when they have the future of the country at stake. Yet we don't speak up when our stakes are high. Maharishi used to say, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, founder of the TM movement, said that our political leaders are just a reflection of the consciousness of the people. So we need to be aware of what we're adding to that mass consciousness. Again, our politicians are helpless. They're just a reflection of the consciousness of the people. So right now in 2.0, we're doing, for 2 weeks, we're doing the integrity challenge. I know a lot of you are taking 2.0, and I invite you to do the integrity challenge, not for just 2 weeks, but for the rest of your life. And if you really want to go for the gold, you can go back, and this is for you, Georgie, you can go back and clean up old messes or old regrets from the past when you were out of integrity. Agreements you made and didn't keep, for example. Okay, the first of the year is always a good energy to do this. I mean, I know that I shared with you what Werner Erhard, the founder of S, says, that there's a difference between keeping an agreement and honoring an agreement. Keeping it means keeping it at all costs, even if it no longer serves you. Honoring it means you go back and say, I can't keep this agreement, but I'd like to honor it by asking you what else we can do. Okay. So, and that's really important when we're really getting tight now on the integrity piece. You know, usually simply acknowledging to the person that you made an agreement that you didn't keep will be enough to clear it up. And it clears a path for more of your success and your happiness and your dreams coming true. You can say, hey, I made an agreement with you, and what I like to do now is ask you what you need in order to be willing to accept that I can't keep it. That's a good one. What can I do for you? Ooh, I'm going to use that one. Because when it makes no sense to keep an agreement, but you did make it, you can say, what can I do now to, or what did I say? What do you need now in order to be willing to accept that I can't keep it? My goal is to make my life work and your life work. Werner says that's the beginning of mastery. So those are big things you could do. But today I also want to remind you that you can do little things. And I'm going to make it easy for you because I'm going to give you a new process. And the new process is something that I made up. I call it just simply noticing. Okay, just noticing. So I'll tell you what I mean. I noticed this one time I was with my daughter. She was in town for a wedding, and so when I was still living in Chicago, and I noticed how often I do little things with her that are totally out of integrity. All the time, in fact. So I want you to follow me here and see if you see yourself. Okay. Here's an example. So we're leaving for the airport, and she had every opportunity to charge her phone overnight. She even borrowed my charger to charge her phone overnight. Now we're getting in the car, and I'm about to plug in my phone, and she says, Mommy, I need to use your charger. Okay, you following this? I looked at my phone, and I knew my phone was 78% charged, but I was about to say, no, I need it, because I wanted to punish her for not being more responsible in charging her phone. But I stopped and I noticed that I didn't need the charger. I would have been lying if I said, no, I need it. Do you see how that's like a little thing? How many of you are following me? A little thing that's out of integrity. It would have been a lie. So I gave her the plug. She plugged in her phone. So simple, no drama. Or here's another thing. We're going to brunch on Sunday. It was the same weekend. We're going to brunch on Sunday with her brother and his then wonderful girlfriend, Amelia. And the night before, after we had solidified all of our plans on Friday for Sunday brunch, my daughter says, is it possible that we could push this up like a half hour because it's so late? And we're just going to bed and because the wedding was so late. And I'm about to say, fine, if you think it's worth inconveniencing me and everybody else who set up their days around the plan for 11 o'clock. But before I spoke, I noticed, and I thought, it makes no difference to me. Actually, I'd like an extra half hour myself. You got it? And I have no idea if it'll be true that she'll be inconveniencing her brother and Amelia. So I said, why don't you text Daniel and to see if it works for them? And she did. And it turned out that they were so grateful. They wanted the extra half hour too. So simple, no drama, no making anyone wrong, no escalation. Okay, so you notice what I'm doing with those two examples, right? I was about to make her wrong, like, oh, you're going to inconvenience everybody. And I thought, that's not true. Maybe it'll be better for everybody. Noticing when you're about to say something that's actually not true. And then I had the thought, this must be what the mindfulness movement is all about, which I never really understood because it felt too much to me. It felt like too much work to be mindful at every moment. Like, oh, I am mindful right now. But I looked it up and discovered that mindfulness is just the intention to slow down enough to notice what is really occurring in the present moment so that you can make a different choice. That's what mindfulness is. It's just having the intention to slow down enough to notice what's occurring in the present moment so you can make a different choice. I like that. And when you slow down and you're in the present moment, you could take action, not based on all the times where Deanna inconvenienced me when she, changed plans or didn't charge her phone, but I'm in the present moment in a non-judgmental way by noticing. So put in the chat if you are willing to notice. Just notice. Slow down, be mindful, and notice. Cultivate that awareness. Slow down, notice. And from that space, make the choice that's really in integrity. But I think using the prompt notice is very helpful. So good, good, good. Oh, I love this. I love this today. Okay, I'm very excited. Can you tell? Okay, and then the last thing before we do intentioning and then we do our goodbye exercise, I am going to read you one more something that I found right before we were about to, not after 8 hours, but in the 40 minutes that I had. And every day I get these, they're political, but they're something from a woman named, what's her name? Heather. I just blanked on her name and I get them every single night and she's brilliant. And she just did an interview with President Biden. Oh, anyway, I'm blanking on her name. Doesn't matter. She wrote this beautiful, beautiful tribute to Martin Luther King. And it is so another thing that I know it's, thank you, God, exactly what we need to hear today. Okay, you ready? Here we go. She says, so you hear sometimes that we know the sordid details of the lives of some of our leading figures that America has, I don't know what that meant, but that America has no heroes left. When I was writing a book about the Wounded Knee Massacre, where heroism was pretty thin on the ground, I gave that a lot of thought, and I came to believe that heroism is neither being perfect nor doing something spectacular. It's just the opposite. It's regular, flawed human beings choosing to put others before themselves, even at great cost, even if no one will ever know. And even as they realize the walls might be closing in around them. It means sitting down the night before D-Day and writing a letter praising the troops and taking all the blame for the next day's failure upon yourself in case things went wrong, as General Dwight D. Eisenhower did. It means writing in your diary that you still believe that people are good at heart, even while you're hiding in an attic from the men who are soon going to kill you, as Anne Frank did. It means signing your name to the bottom of the Declaration of Independence in bold print, even though you know you are signing your own death warrant should the British capture you, as John Hancock did. It means defending your people's right to practice a religion you don't share, even though you know you're becoming a dangerously visible target, as Sitting Bull did. Sometimes it means just sitting down, even when you're told to stand up, as Rosa Parks did. None of those people woke up one morning and said to themselves that they were about to be a hero. It's just that when they had to, they did what was right. On April 3rd, 1968, the night before the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated by a white supremacist, he gave a speech in support of sanitation workers in Memphis, Tennessee. Since 1966, King had tried to broaden the civil rights movement for racial equality into a larger movement for economic justice. He joined the sanitation workers in Memphis that night who were on strike after years of bad pay and such dangerous conditions that 2 men had been crushed to death in garbage compactors. After his friend Ralph Abernathy introduced him to the crowd, King had something to say about heroes. He said, as I listened to Ralph and his eloquent and generous introduction, I thought to myself, I wonder who he's talking about. Dr. King told the audience that if God had let him choose any era in which to live, he would have chosen the one in which he had landed. Then he said, quote, now that's a strange statement to make because the world is all messed up right now. The nation is sick. Trouble is in the land. Confusion is all around. But I know somehow that only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. Dr. King said that he felt blessed to live in an era when people had finally woken up and were working together for freedom and for economic justice. He knew he was in danger as he worked for a racially and economically just America. And he said, quote, I don't know what will happen now. We've got difficult days ahead, but it doesn't matter because I've been to the mountaintop. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life, but I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And he's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to that promised land. End quote. People are wrong to say that we have no heroes left, just as they have always been. They are all around us, choosing to do the right thing, no matter what. Wishing you all a day of peace for Martin Luther King Jr. Day 2024, which we know was yesterday. So now what we're going to do is we are going to intention for the people who sent in their intentions. And, oh, I forgot to transfer them over to the chat. While I am getting them, I want you to know that, what we've decided is that until I do the next, Success Circle always starts after the current 2.0, and the current 2.0 will be done in April. So we'll resume Success Circle. It'll be done in March, so we'll resume Success Circle in April. I'll let you know when that will be. But until then, we will still have masterminds with this group. Thank you, cousin Marcia, and those of you who were in Mastermind today. We still will have Mastermind on the 1st and the 3rd Tuesday of the month at the same time that we have this meeting. So it's 7 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Pacific, but I will put that in the replay email. Okay, so now we are going to do intentioning. And the first intention is for, hold on, the first intention, Dana. Okay, so Dana, I'm not going to elevate you to spotlight you. Just because I don't have it on the sheet, so I need to keep another thing open. So our darling Dana would like to intention for her brother-in-law, Tim Botts, and we just saw Dana, so we remember what she looks like, that his new chemotherapy will make him perfectly ready for a bone marrow transplant, which will be even more successful than hoped for, leading to a long and healthy life. And then she says, he's 56. He's such a good person. So we are going to intention for Tim to have a long, healthy life, and for the bone marrow transplant, he'll be ready for it with this new chemo. So here we go for Tim. And we give thanks, and so it is. Okay. And our next is for Janice Clearfield, and she has several things. She wants the perfect gastro doctor, the perfect dentist, the perfect emotional support person, the perfect handyman, the perfect cleaning person. In other words, all of these incredible, really good people, we see them coming into her life, and a new apartment. Okay. Her current apartment has some mold in it. We do not want her living with mold. So we see her in the perfect new apartment with all of these wonderful people there to help her. So that is for Janice. So here we go. And we give thanks, and so it is. Okay, and we're going to intention now for Sandra's son, Shiva. We've attention to him for him before, but we are doing it again. He's 50 years old. He has cancer. He has 3 little kids. And right now he's going through 6 weeks of intensive therapy and chemo and radiation. So what we want is we see Shiva surrounded by light, surrounded by all of the angels uplifting him into radiant health, just light coursing through his veins, coursing through his body, miracles abounding. The doctor saying, "What has gone on, Shiva? This is amazing." Only light is filling your body. Only health is filling your body. And he lives a long, 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 healthy life with his 3 beautiful children. And here we go. And we give thanks, and so it is. Wow, we're really heating up here. Okay. Now for Lisbeth, we love you, Lisbeth. And the first intention is for immense funding coming through quickly and easily for totally remote, working from home work projects for her husband, Tom. And either for his current workplace or through some magical opportunities that are even better, and that the pay for his work is excellent and benefits included, and also that, and just for Lisbeth, her lower right leg and inner ankle are completely and miraculously healed. So we see Lisbeth and perfect health and quickly and safely with grace and ease, so she can walk and stand for long periods of time. So here we go, both for her husband, Tom, and for her glorious self. Here we go. And we give thanks, and so it is. Okay, now for Sybil. So for our beautiful darling Sybil, radiant health, and always be able to quickly and easily tap into the perfect source to achieve and maintain radiant health. So we see her in absolute radiant health and always be led to the perfect sources to maintain that radiant health. Here we go. And we give thanks, and so it is. And now for Marcy, her daughter Thea, who I know and love, has a health opportunity. And it has to do with her mitochondria. So here's what we're going to see for beautiful, beautiful Thea. And that is that her mitochondria are vibrant and regenerating and communicating health throughout her body. And her gastrointestinal system is revived, and all the food is just digested with pure light and processed from beginning to end, vibrantly, healthfully, radiantly. All the nutrients are absorbed and strengthen her body, and her everything about her health is perfect. Her hormones are balanced. Her thyroid is renewed with radiance for her beautiful, young, healthy body, mind, and soul. So here we go for our beautiful Thea. We give thanks, and so it is. All right. And now for Adele. I love this. For our darling Adele. We see Adele in excellent health, spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, performing and speaking to the perfect audiences, being of the highest service to God, is God's loving, peaceful, joyful, wise, vivacious, fun-filled, childlike wonder and awe conduit. So we see that for Adele. Ooh, I just got goosebumps. Okay, here we go. The awe conduit for God, joyful, childlike. Mm. And we give thanks, and so it is. Okay, two more. Similarly, Barbara Dixon. What we want to see for Barbara, everything the same. We want to see her living her best life with peace and happiness and good health and joy and fulfillment of purpose. Here we go for Barbara Dixon. And we give thanks, and so it is. And actually, we have two more. Do you guys love this? It just gets like higher and higher. I could do this for another hour. I could do it for another day. Okay, for Carol. Actually, oh, look at your mom. She sent me a picture of her mom. And she said, just by the way, past prayers and intentions have really helped. We are amazed when we saw the oncologist recently and her breast cancer had shrunk to half the size it was the last time. And Carol, unmute yourself. I think she's like, how old is your mom?
My mom is 96. She just turned 90. And the picture that I sent you was her birthday one with a birthday crown on.
It's her birthday crown, and she's 96. And so, but what we want to do is we just want to intend for her right now. Two things. One is that her mind and her memory is bright and efficient. And also, let's just hold Carol, who asks for intentions for her mom, but let's have an intention for her. She's going to be visiting the pelvic health clinic tomorrow. So let's see positive light for her visit for the pelvic health clinic and also for her mama's memory and her her brain. Okay, here we go. Light all around for Carol's mom and for Carol. Here we go. We give thanks, and so it is. Now, Dave, are you here? David Johnson. I'm unmuting you for a sec. David Johnston sent me in an intention for, because his son is moving to, where is it? Memphis? Somewhere over there. I can't remember.
They're moving to southeast of Atlanta, Georgia.
Well, I knew it was somewhere.
Town called Griffin. Yeah.
Yeah. And he asked for us to intend tonight for his son and his son's family to find the perfect home. And then he wrote me, well, scratch that one. They found it already. So that was quick. So now the next one is for a perfect school for the girls, right? Unless they found that already.
No, yeah, it's for the girls to find the perfect school with the right resources to help them with any possible challenging learning opportunities and to be embraced by the community of children, and they find really wonderful friends that embrace them into their new community.
Fabulous. Okay, you got it?
Thank you.
Here we go for David's two adorable granddaughters. Here we go. And we give thanks, and so it is. Now, before we do our final thing, I wanted to ask, did anybody send, this isn't the time like, oh, I forgot to send one in. I want everybody intention for me. No, I love you and no. But did anybody send one in and somehow I missed it? Because that happens. Tana, I didn't see yours. So unmute yourself. I did not see it.
That's okay. I also asked for the recipes that you mentioned in Success Saturday, like the healthy cake recipes.
Oh, I got those.
I
And
would like them.
what did you write? It's a, but
Um,
you can't make them in your Easy Bake Oven, just so you know.
That's okay. I asked for clarity of purpose and an open and receptive heart and mind for guidance and abundance from spirit.
Whoa, I think we all want that. Could we all borrow that? But we'll intention that for Tana and God, if you have like really big heart for all of us while you're at it. Okay, here we go for Tana. And we give thanks, and so it is. Whew. How many of you felt that very strongly for Tana and for yourself? Like the grace was just flowing. And I repeat this all the time, but I'm going to say it again, that in Lynn McTaggart, when she did her research, she found that the people who did the intentioning for the other people, that their lives just blossomed in incredible ways, and sometimes in the exact same way that they were intentioning for the person. So, oh, wow. Look at this. What Jane says, I want to report that my intention from months ago did come through. My husband got a disability qualification from the VA after 40 years of trying. Woohoo! You go, girl. That is awesome. Okay. And Anne, you unmute, darling. Sometimes things go into my spam, which is unfortunate, but we keep trying to fix it. But Anne, go ahead, my dear.
It found its way here. That's the most important. So I would love to intention, please, for Al and Shirley. Their house burned down. They lost everything.
No, I wanted to ask you who it was. Al and Shirley.
Al and Shirley,
And
yes.
who are they? Are they somebody in Yes to
They,
Success?
no, they are just acquaintances of mine, but they are good people.
I got it. Okay.
And
Oh,
so,
that's so sweet of you.
Al, I intend for them, please, that in love and light, all those who support them and love them, help them on their journey to a beautiful, bright, happy new home with everything they need.
And peace in their hearts.
Thank you.
Oh, beautiful. For Al and Shirley.
Thank
We
you.
love Al and Shirley. Thank you, darling. Okay, here we go for Al and Shirley. we give thanks, and so it is. Wow. Okay, thank you for being so kind to think of your neighbors, Alan Shirley. And all right, well, this is it. What I'm going to do is, instead of us listening to Master John Douglas together, I'm going to send it to you, the link, so that you could listen. And I think, I don't know which one I'm going to send, but I'll send one. I'll just ask the angels which ones you got, which one. Actually, I could send one that's longer, because usually I do the shortest ones when we're together so that we end at 9 o'clock. But so I think I'm going to send a longer one that you've never done before, because you could do it at your leisure. So yay. So the last thing that I want to do, pretty good for not having, maybe who votes for me never had to ever have anything planned? Never again have anything planned. So what I would like to do is, I love to keep all of you in my heart. So I would love to just do our thing where we just look at each other. And those of you who are off screen, what I would say is put your picture on so we could look at your beautiful self. And we're going to play some music. And when it's over, we're just going to wave goodbye until we see each other again, which I hope everybody will be back for Success Circle when we start up again in April. And other than that, everything else I said I was going to send in the replay, I will send, although I can't remember what it was, but it'll come to me. And this is a song that I go, when I lived in Berkeley, when I lived in Marin, I went to a wonderful temple in Berkeley, synagogue called Chochmat Halev, and this is what we would play. This song is what we would hold hands and look at each other and hug, and when the service was over, and it was live music, but I found it. So that's what we're going to play. And remember, there are 3 pages, so don't just be on the first page, but all the people who we can't see, Sada and gorgeous Inma, and there you are, beautiful, and I love you, and Sybil and Adele and all of those people, Carla, oh, there's Carla, and Dolly and everybody. It would be so great. And look at, there's Tom with Lisbeth. Yay. So hi. All right. Well, I will quit raving about who's here, and I will turn on the music so that we could look at each other and be in a space of love. So Elise, if you're there, that's your signal, darling. Of course, she's been waiting for 40 minutes. I hope she's still there. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh.
Hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to hold you in sending you
And before we go, let's just surround our planet with light and with love, with that everything that we're feeling here tonight spreads from this place to all of the places where there's hope is dim, to Israel and Gaza, to Ukraine, to all the places, Lebanon, all of the hot spots on the planet. Let's send them all light and hold them all in love for a few moments before we say goodbye. So it is. And if anybody wants to join our prayer for peace, where we gather every night at 9 o'clock Eastern time. I know Dave is one of the leaders. We invite you because it's powerful. And I love you. See you soon.
I love you.
Love you.
Lots of love and lots of blessings to all. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you. Au revoir.
Au
Hope
revoir.
to see you in Florida.
Yeah.
Tell
Let's
me
open
about
it. I'll send it out. I'll send it out in
Thank
an
you.
email. It's a gathering in Orlando.
Oh, that's close.
February 8th through the 10th. And I'll be speaking, and Renee, you know Renee, who's our
Right.
Renee, who takes care of everything. She'll be speaking. She's actually putting it on with her husband, and it's just amazing group of people. It's a business gathering, but it is so much more because this is the third year I'm going, and actually fourth if you count the virtual year. And it is you learn how to make your business more successful, but it's also how to make your life more successful. It's beautiful. I don't know what else to say about it. It's like a reunion of your soul tribe, soul centered leadership is what it's called. So, but it's worth it just to come and see me and Chris and Renee and Chris's wife, who's the best wife in the whole world. All right. Hope to see you there. Love you all.